So you go down the list. There's Junior hit 35 in 1998. Aaron Judge last year had 34. So I look at those as more the numbers than I do Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire. I understand that it's technically the record, but any achievement Barry Bonds had in his late 30s, I'm looking at like, yeah, it was him. He was a brilliant player. He was a Hall of Famer before he was juicing, but the numbers got stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, and, Cal's just such a big, powerful dude. He's 6'3", and, he's just got that power source. And, yeah, I mean, it just seems like on a lot of the pitches that he's just, like, barely touching it. But he's out in front, like we talked about with Petriello. He's getting the bat speed in play and pulling balls, and it's been incredible how easy it looks for him. That one last night, I mean, it was just like, yeah, he knew it the second he hit it.
Yeah. Mo from Puyallup, they allowed it. Everyone was juicing. LOL. Lots of love. So the playing field was even. Well, not everybody was juicing. Yeah, it was, and it wasn't allowed. It just hadn't been written specifically that it was against the rules and all of that. But yeah, the idea that, well, everybody did it, that's inaccurate. That's inaccurate. But yeah, I mean, again, when you look at the records that were set by guys who never even came close to sniffing those records. Again, Bonds had never even hit 50 in a season. And he's going to hit 73 when you're in your late 30s when the bat speed slows down and all that. Come on, man. It was comedy. But there it is, 39 home runs. You think he gets it done?
Yeah, I hate putting pressure on him, and I think yesterday when we did the Call It Now, I think I did the under, like just I don't know.
What did we say? 2.5 home runs?
I think it was 2.5
for the series.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, but
I don't think we're putting, as much as I know he listens to the show, I don't think he's feeling any pressure from us predicting.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think anybody could say anything. I love that, by the way, that the Mariner fans, number one, are traveling, but they've got the MVP chant going.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just look. Aaron Judge is a guy that is easy to get behind, easy to like.
He hit a home run yesterday.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Cal, just the work that he does, that he just kind of quietly sits behind the plate and manages that rotation, and yeah, he's just kind of like everybody's, perfect type of ball player. Like he's a grinder.
Yeah,
and
he's a team guy,
and you could easily see Cal, and I don't know if he'd want to, but he could easily be a manager at some point. The depth of knowledge that he has, and really he's still young in his career.
Jeff Passan on with Brock and Salk talks about Cal and the MVP, and here he's talking about why he's not ready to say Cal will challenge Judge for the MVP.
Yeah, I get it. I'm not there yet, and that says something, Mike, considering just how great Cal Raleigh has been. I just, if we're going to do this, baseball makes it very easy. And I understand it's not all about numbers specifically, but Aaron Judge is hitting almost 100 points higher. Aaron Judge is getting on base 80 points higher, and Aaron Judge has 70-point lead in slugging percentage. Like, just across the board, the numbers are significantly better.
Yeah, and then we talked about that yesterday, that there was only two categories where Cal was exceeding what Judge is doing. And that's home runs. He's got 4 more. Judge has 28 now. Cal 32. And then RBIs. Cal's got 68. Judge has 62.
Right.
But then when you look at every other category, whether it's runs scored, hits, average certainly, doubles, triples, on base, slug, OPS, WAR, Judge has him in all those. Mm-hmm. So we talked about it yesterday. It's not as if he's not worthy by any stretch. Aaron Judge should be the leader, but Cal needs to be in the conversation. He, to say, I'm not ready to put him in that. He's not ready to challenge. I think he is challenging him right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does die. And if they took the vote today, Judge is going to win it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reality of it. I get it, and I wouldn't be able to sit there and kick and scream and say, "Oh, Cal got screwed" and all that. But to say he's not challenging for it, I think you're going a little light there.
No, I think so too. And especially I wonder if if people will start to really appreciate what he does. And that's defensively. And we talked about how typically that's where your lowest producer is position-wise. And, and he's just grinding. And you can see the express. We've gotten to know Cal pretty well over the years. We talk to him 2-3 times a year. And, you can see that he's just hasn't changed one bit.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's built for this. So, and just the durability with him right now. And don't worry, I won't jinx him. But, I mean, you look at what he's the other day when, it was hot, everybody's like passing out right and left, and he's got all the catcher gear on. I mean, he's built for it. So, yeah I think people are going to start to appreciate, and it's kind of funny to call him an underdog right now because, like you said, we run out of superlatives for him. But, being a catcher and just grinding it out behind the plate.
Look, playing for the Mariners, man.
Yeah.
When you're going up against a Yankee who's having the season that he's having, you are a massive underdog. That's just it. Aaron Judge is arguably one of the most popular players, most well-known players in this league, playing for the most well-known organization in Major League Baseball, in the biggest media market, and he's having that season. Yeah, Cal is a decided underdog based on all of that. And then you look at the numbers, we went through all of that. But, again, he is, in my opinion, beyond challenging for it. I don't think he's certainly a front runner. It's still Judge, but, let's not undersell what Cal's doing. Passing one more from him, talked about, in his opinion, what it'll take for Cal to overtake Judge.
Again, I am not taking a single thing away from Cal Raleigh.
Yes,
I acknowledge his superior defense. I acknowledge how difficult it is to play catcher every day, and to do so at the volume he's doing it is absolutely absurd. And all those things warrant consideration in this case. But to me, the numbers offensively just need to be a little bit closer than they are in terms of the metrics as opposed to the counting stats, because he's ahead of him in home runs. He's ahead of him in RBIs. He's ahead of him in the team-dependent stuff. But at the end of the day, that triple slash line is where I begin. And when the difference is as significant as it is, it's just going to be difficult for me, despite all of those secondary things that Cal Raleigh has going for him, to put him above Judge because of the difference in offense.
Well, and then the other thing is, this is known here at T-Mobile to not be a hitter's park. And, and he's got more at-bats on the road, but, 18 of those home runs are away and 14 are home. And I know at one point it was like 14 and 15, it was very, very close. It didn't seem to matter. Same thing with the RBIs, 35 away, 33 at home. But I mean, that's another thing, that I think you could make the case for Cal and then, maybe he, starts throwing people out on the base paths and, making plays defensively. I remember the one in Cincinnati where it's hit down the first base line and he has to dive. It looks like a Tom Cruise Mission Impossible move, grabs the ball and throws it. I mean, you start to see those kinds of things, and and I'm sure that Judge makes some spectacular plays out in the field, but for Cal, I mean, he's just doing everything. So, yeah, I mean, maybe there is a chance. I think it's like we talked about yesterday, incredibly difficult to go up against the Yankees, maybe the most well-known sports franchise in the world, and then the media market there. But
and Judge would have to come back average-wise a bit and on base. I mean, that's
pretty impressive.
Passing isn't saying anything you and I didn't say yesterday. Yeah. And that is, looking at the numbers, it's almost 100-point difference in average. It's 90 in on base, and he's got him in slug, he's got him in OPS, blah blah blah. So that gap needs to close a little bit. I mean, it's great. He's look, if Cal goes on a tear and he ends up hitting 60+ home runs and Judge is at 51, and Cal's got 128 RBI and Judge has 101. All right. Well, maybe that's going to make up some of the difference. But, we'll see. There's still obviously a ton of baseball left. But right now it's just amazing to watch what he's doing. And more importantly, outside of what Cal's been doing, is we've been seeing this pitching staff, this rotation, start to resemble what they were last year. Yeah. Now you had to, obviously, it was tough in Chicago. The wind was wreaking havoc on everybody out there that was on the hill in different ways. And Emerson Hancock had a big blow up. It wasn't a great day for him. But, seeing Brian Wu go out there, 6 innings again. Every single start this year, he's gone at least 6. And he was dominating. He had, he had that inning, gave up 2 solo shots where he was getting a little loose. He got squeezed early in the game where he had the guy struck out. It was a very clear strike where you even saw Wu looking, kind of smiling at the catcher or smiling at the ump like, what?
Yeah.
That was low? What was that?
I mean, screwed on that
yeah,
one.
that should have been his 10th strikeout. That turned into his 1 walk in the game. So, I mean, he was amazing. He was amazing yesterday. He's remarkably consistent. And then, 4th inning, striking out the side. It was beautiful.
Here comes the 0-2. Swung on and miss. Got upstairs, 95 letter high. He strikes out the side. 8 punch shots for Brian Wu. He's got it working today against Minnesota. No runs allowed through 4 innings. We go to the 5th.
Yeah, I thought Aaron Goldsmith was going to have to put the tie on the knob there because the doorknob, because he was 1 foul ball away from an immaculate inning.
He just loves the immaculate inning.
Loves the immaculate inning.
Loves it. Yeah.
It was like the Bugs Bunny thing.
Yeah.
Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, you're out.
Yeah. It was
incredible.
He was dealing. And then, he gave up 2 home runs, 2 solo shots, but ultimately another quality start. 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 9 strikeouts. That 1 walk that shouldn't have been a walk should be 10-0.
Yeah.
But all right. 9 strikeouts and that walk. It was just the rotation as a whole is trending the right way. The bullpen has done a great job as of late. They're rounding into form, at least from the pitching side. There's still some unevenness with the offense. They've been on a tear, but that's part of the unevenness, right? We've seen those games where they lose 2 out of 3 in that series where they scored 1 run in the 2 games. And now you look at them, they've scored 41 runs in their past 4 games or whatever it's been. I mean, it's all or nothing. So it's right now it's all, and it's a lot of fun watching what they're doing, and hopefully they can keep that going. But it'd be nice if they could just find that nice middle ground.
Yeah, and you got guys like Canzone. I mean, I know it's early for him. Same thing with Luke Raleigh, but he ends up with 3 RBIs yesterday, and I mean it's just. But getting back to Wu, if you look at this rotation, like they call Logan Gilbert Walter. How he's kind of this big, intimidating pitcher. Same thing with Kirby. And now all of a sudden you're seeing that from Brian Wu. And I think Luis Castillo is in his own sort of certain way. But you look at Wu on the mound and like that where he was laughing and shaking his head at the one, that should have been a strike.
Yeah.
He's just so much more aggressive and just nasty on the hill. I love seeing kind of the transformation because, we talked to him early on. He was a nice kid and kind of, oh, gee whiz, this is great. Now all of a sudden you see him out there and it looks like he is just in command. And a lot of times he gets pissed off, and I love seeing that fire. And, you put that with Logan Gilbert, Castillo and Kirby. I mean, those guys are fearsome.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch when they're rolling like that. And I like seeing Wu a little agitated there, like, what? What was that? That was low? And then you see him kind of turn his back to the ump, and he's smiling like, all right. Yeah. Because it was one of the obvious ones where you're like, dude, what are you looking at? That wasn't he caught the edge, he caught the corner, and he missed. No. Yeah, that was strike 3. And that turned into a walk, and I'm like, you know what? That's annoying. ABS can't get here soon enough.
Yeah, I'm starting to come around on that. Because look, that's affecting guys' careers, really. But yeah, it's just that's ridiculous. Everybody in the park and everybody watching can see it's a strike.
Yeah,
and on that part of it, look, I understand the umps, they're going to get some wrong every once in a while, but. Yeah, that's just ridiculous, and I'm starting to come around like, okay. I'm okay. I'm okay not having to complain about the umpires now.
You'll miss it, but
yeah,
you can live without it.
I don't know. Cal, when in his last show, he was talking to Shannon Dreyer about that he absolutely does not want that. And
catchers don't want it, man. They love the art of framing pitches and
and also I think you kind of got from Cal the drama of it that it gives you something to kind of get pissed off about or whatever, but I mean I'm done with it.
Hey, if you missed any part of the show or you just want to go watch things over again, you can check out our Wyman and Bob channel on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and search for Seattle Sports or Wyman and Bob, Bob Stelton on all social media platforms like Instagram, X, Blue Sky, Threads. We're on all that stuff. So everything you get right here, you can find right there. The interviews with the Seahawks, Mariners, everything that goes on here, you can find right there, and it's for free. All right, let's take two.
Well, just a slight change to the M's lineup today. Luke Raleigh is in left. Randy Rosarena DHing. Donnie Barrels back in the lineup. He's at first. Dave celebrates. This will be a tough test, though, for the Mariners offense. Chris Paddock went 8 innings and allowed just a run. Struck out 10 back on June 1st when he faced them. The one run was a Cal Raleigh home run.
Of course it was. Yeah. Struck out 10. Ugh, I don't like that. Have we seen Raleigh in left field? I'm sure we have.
Like ever?
So I don't. This year, no. I don't.
Well, not this year. Certainly, he hasn't. Yeah. He's hardly played. But, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, is that the one position that the Mariners haven't had like a dominant player over the years?
Never had that guy. You've had guys you loved, Ibanez, you loved Mark McLemore, but when you look at the history of the Mariners outfield, you've had so many great center fielders, obviously starting with Junior and Mike Cameron and Gutierrez and now Julio, and you've had your right fielders that are legends and Ichiro and Jay Buhner. You haven't had that legend left fielder.
Yeah.
They've never had that guy that's just occupied the spot. You just wrote him in, year out, that's the guy.
Are you excited to see Donnie Barrels tonight? Coming off a series where he goes 9 for 14.
Yeah, I hope he keeps it going,
2
man.
2 home runs.
I root for anybody in a Mariner uniform.
8 RBIs.
He had 5 coming into that series for the season.
We can absolutely, without any guilt, refer to him as Donnie Barrels.
Well, a ton of injuries piling up for the Diamondbacks, which is going to be something to watch for. We'll get into this a little bit later when we talk about the trade deadline and some trade possibilities. But Corbin Carroll out indefinitely with a chip fracture in his left wrist. And then yesterday, both Gino Suarez and Josh Naylor were injured. Suarez was hit in the hand in the first inning. Naylor injured his shoulder on a swing in the second, and neither of them are in the lineup tonight.
Ooh, those are 2 names that have been bandied about as potential trade pieces for the Mariners come the trade deadline. Now, whether I don't know where Arizona is in wanting to retain those guys or what have you, but both free agents at the end of the year, and you don't want damaged goods. Getting hit in the hand's one thing. When you hurt your shoulder on a swing, I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on there?
That worries you. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of interesting. I would love to see Gino Suarez back here. I know it's annoying that, you let him go, but, at third base, I mean, it's not really a problem. Ben Williamson, I mean, he's so good defensively, but, you're looking for production. Power there. And, yeah, I'm starting to think I would, because, things are kind of working out at first base. We'll see what happens with the platoon there. But, yeah, I mean, Gino, and remember we interviewed him. He's just one of the great guys. He's a glue guy, but I don't know. It's probably not going to happen.
Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Coming up, we have even more proof that Mariner players do listen to our show. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
The most first-half home runs for a catcher in baseball history.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
Big dumper.
American League Player of the Week. A .417 average.
OPS over 1,600. 5 homers, 12 ribbies.
And one hell of a model American.
Now the question of whether or not he's the front runner as AL MVP.
Where you follow along the Big Dumpers, Big Run. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
If you've ever wondered if there's something after death, Tyler Henry proves the answer is yes. Be part of his live audience readings and his jaw-dropping ability to connect with the departed at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, July 10th and Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Experience this evening of hope and healing, bringing peace and closure to loved ones. Tyler Henry proves our loved ones never leave us. Get tickets at MuckleshootCasino.com.
Muckleshoot.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
To me, the LJ way is to provide an experience that people really enjoy being a part of. And they enjoy being a part of it because they're getting great service. They're talking with somebody that actually they feel cares about them. They care about what their impression is going to be walking away. It's also understanding you're now part of our family, and thank you for doing the business with us. And this is how we're going to show our appreciation through customer service. We're going to show our appreciation with taking care of you if you ever have an issue. Majority of the people that are coming to see us are within our community. These are people who are providing maybe services that we also use in our community. So the LJ way, to me, somebody can come into a retail setting and not feel like they got to have their guard up. And that's been a long-standing thing in the car business that, we've tried to shake.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover's accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number 4th of July sale. Save over $600 on our King P5 smart bed, our lowest price of the season. Plus, get free home delivery with most smart beds, limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Coming up at 3 p.m., El Hombre, Michael Bradley will join us on the program. We will turn you over to the Mariners pregame show at 3:30 for Game 2 of this series. Meanwhile, outside of all of the good things we talked about to open the show, Cal Raleigh, Brian Wu. How about Julio Rodriguez? Finally looking like Julio. I felt such a sense of relief when he didn't. It wasn't a wall scraper. He crushed the ball. He crushed the ball 442 feet.
Here comes the 1-2. Swung on, crushed left field. This one is gone. How far it's going to go? It's going to go off the facing of the second deck. Julio crushed it. He smashed it. And the Mariners extend the lead. It's 3-0.
In case you weren't clear, he hit the ball real hard. He smashed it. He crushed it. Yeah, and it did hit off the facing of the second deck. And that was just great to see. And then he laces a double in the gap later in the game. Drives in 4 last night. So it was a solid night for Julio. It was really good to see. And you wonder, okay, is this where his annual hot streak starts? Is this where he's just going to look like the best player in baseball again for 6 weeks or what have you and hit everything? And I hope so. I hope it's the beginning, because it was really good to see, because we've all been wondering. We've been wondering aloud, like, yeah, he's getting hits, but they're all singles. And he's just beating the ball into the ground, and he's kind of like Ichiro at this point. A lot of infield singles. He's not squaring anything up, but yet he is getting on base. So it was kind of a weird, felt a little conflicted. Like, yeah, I guess technically he's doing some things well, but he's not doing damage. He's not driving in runs. The power's not there. But maybe this is the start.
You got to go back to the Washington series when they won 9-1. That's the last time he hit a home run, and he had 3 RBIs in that game. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of it's not like meanwhile he's playing great defense. We talk about that all the time, but you look at some of the things that Julio's done, and I don't know that it's fair, but if you go back like to 2023, I was looking at a stretch of 48 games where he bats 360. His OPS is over 1,000, and 11 home runs, 17 doubles. I mean, that's who he can be. Now, he cooled off at the end of that year, but I mean, these are numbers that will carry you. And if he all of a sudden can start to, hit like more like this than what he's been doing, yeah, now all of a sudden it's almost like you just traded for a new player.
Well, yeah, it's a different looking offense. Yeah, completely. And Dan talked after the game, just talking about how good of an at-bat Julio had with that home run.
I mean, to hit a pitch like that, you've got to stay on it for a long time, and he was able to do that. And when you are able to stay on it, you've got full extension down there, and that's when you get all your power. And we saw that thing just take off, he is incredibly strong, and when he gets to that point where he's able to find the barrel with good extension, that's where the ball's going to go. And tonight was another example of him just putting together good at-bats.
It really is amazing what a difference he makes in a lineup. If he can, and look, I don't expect him to hit a home run and a double every night. I mean, I don't expect it from Cal, even though he's kind of doing it. But, if you can just be that consistent threat and square the ball, just hit the ball hard. Just do that on a regular basis, whether it results in a line drive out or it's a double in the gap, but just tells me you're on it. Right? There's just so many times he looks so far out in front of the off speed and way behind the fastball, and he's just kind of caught in between. And maybe it's just a crisis of confidence. Maybe he just felt, he's up there thinking too much. And a day like yesterday could take the pressure off. We'll see. We'll see what he looks like tonight, and hopefully moving forward he goes through one of those hot spells, because you get Cal doing what he's doing, and you throw in Julio on top of it with JP getting on base the way he has been, even though he was only one of 2 guys who didn't have a hit yesterday, him and Dylan Moore. But yeah, just it's hard to overstate the impact he can have on this lineup.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like you could kind of see him rounding the bases like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's not like, okay, I'm fixed, and he knows that. But, I think something like that can sometimes be the impetus to start you on a tear here, and maybe that's where he's going. But this offense just in general, I can't believe 41 runs in the last 4 games. This is it's incredible what the numbers that they have been putting up lately.
Julio spoke after the game, just talked about the last few games and talking about those 41 runs in the last 4 have been a reflection of who they are offensively.
We just have been executing our plans and playing to our identity. We're able to create runs in so many different ways, and I feel like we're doing that right now. And I feel like that's why we've been winning and hitting more home runs, getting more hits, and doing all that.
So many different places it's coming from, to his point.
Yeah.
You're getting, we talked about Dom Canzone and Raleigh, and these are, small sample size, but.
And Donnie Barrels.
Nice to see. Yeah, well, I thought I said his name enough already in the last segment. But, it's just nice to know that you can count on those guys every once in a while. When they just go cold, that's what's so discouraging. You lose a series. How many runs did they allow in the Boston Red Sox series? It was like 5 runs,
and you lost 2 of the 3 games.
2 of 3, yeah. And it's just like you got answers nowhere from nobody, and now all of a sudden you've got guys like Donnie Barrels chiming in.
Yeah. Somebody sent it, and again, you guys can text in 866-979-3776. I can't find it. Somebody asked, well, where did the name Donnie Barrels come from? I don't know. It's on his baseball reference page.
Right.
We didn't create it.
No. I think a lot of people for a long time thought it was an ironic nickname, but now all of a sudden he's living up to it.
Yeah. It definitely was. Definitely was there for a while. But yeah, that's good. We'll see what he does back in the lineup tonight. But man, that's a sense of relief, at least for a game. We'll see what happens with Julio. But, we got some stats here from Mariners PR that Lefko put on the page. Mariners offensive ranks in the month of June. First in average, hitting 280. Second in on-base percentage, hitting 339. Fourth in slugging, with hit 451. Third in OPS, 790. Fifth in runs per game at 4.85.
Wow.
How about that? And that's with Julio not doing damage.
Yeah. Well, and if you just look at their numbers for the year, a lot of them are, top 15, some approaching top 10. So, yeah, they've really ultimately gotten it done, because last year at this time, they were either number 25 through 30 or, I think every on-base percentage was decent.
Mm-hmm.
It was like middle of the pack, but all of these other slug numbers, OPS were, bottom 5.
Hey, a reminder, the 2025 All-Star ballot is open. You got Cal, Julio, JP, all those guys are on the ballot. The crew need your help to secure a spot at this year's Midsummer Classic in Atlanta. You can vote 5 times per day, every day through June 26. All you need to do is go to MLB.com/vote. You can also vote via our Seattle Sports app, which is totally free. If you don't have the app, you can download that for free and just click the vote tab in the lower right-hand corner. So 5 times per day, which I'm certain, Dave, you're voting for Cal 5 times a day.
Oh, yeah.
Donnie Barrels, Dylan Moore, your trifecta of fun right there.
I could be 1 for 3 at the end of the season.
I think you would be. Yeah. As far as all-stars, Cal's the obvious. You shouldn't even have to vote on a guy having a season like that. But
right.
but as far as anybody else, it'll be interesting to see which pitchers get selected. Obviously, the fans don't have a say in that, but does JP get some love there? Does he? I know he's got a handful of shortstops in front of him, so it might be tough. But he's having a season that's worthy of being considered. That's for sure.
What about the rotation? What do you think?
I would say Wu, and then I would look at Munoz.
Yeah,
would be the two.
Certainly Munoz.
Yeah, everybody else. Castillo's been solid, but he hasn't been great. But he's been solid.
Yeah,
and obviously Gilbert's been hurt. Kirby's been hurt. Bryce isn't even isn't even out there right now. So yeah, it's Brian Wu. It's Munoz and Cal.
Yep,
that's how I see it. All right, coming up, there needs to be a sense of urgency when it comes to one aspect of this Mariners season. That is coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. Seattle Sports on 710.
The most first-half home runs for a catcher catcher in baseball history.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
Big dumper.
American League Player of the Week. A .417 average.
OPS over 1,600. 5 homers, 12 ribbies.
And one hell of a model American.
Now the question of whether or not he's the front runner as AL MVP.
Where you follow along the Big Dumpers, Big Run, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
I'm loving this weather. It's fun to be outside when it's nice, right? No rain, it's not cold, it's warm, it's sunny, but that's motorcycle riding weather. For those other riders out there, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm a fair weather rider. It's got to be at least 60 degrees and not raining, and it's beautiful, and I'm out there every single day enjoying it. But with that comes a lot of risk. I understand that, and it's not a matter of if, but when, as I'm told by my more experienced riding friends, that you get in a crash. Hopefully you haven't been in one. To this point, I have not, knocking on wood. But if you find yourself in a crash and you're injured, don't settle for a firm that says they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who actually live it. That's Law Tigers. They've been a part of the riding community for nearly a quarter century. Nationwide, we're talking about here, and they're available 24/7, 365 days a year, because riders deserve real support when they need it most. Law Tigers is the resource riders can turn to when they are in need. And Law Tigers is out at all the events. You see the tents, you see the vans everywhere. They're out there supporting all the clubs, all the shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. And your case evaluation, as always, free. They don't get paid until you get paid. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone when they're with you. They are Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Breaking news for the people of Boomtown. With Xfinity Mobile, the Wi-Fi is booming, at home and on the go.
And an upgrade storm's on the way.
That's right. And with Xfinity Mobile Premium Unlimited, you can upgrade your phone when you want, up to 2 times a year.
Now, once customers catch wind of the guaranteed new device discount, it'll be the biggest upgrade storm in history.
Wow. Let's hear from our weatherman on the scene.
How's it looking out there, Rick?
Well, Bill, the Wi-Fi is still booming.
Now through September 30th, existing Xfinity Internet customers can get an unlimited line included for a year. Plus, ask how to get a free 5G phone. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Unlimited line offer requires Xfinity 300 megabit internet or above. Taxes, fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds vary.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Andre. Andre, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
My wife and I were going to get married, and we wanted to combine our insurance for both home and auto.
Were they able to save you any money?
The money they quoted us was actually the same as what we were paying separately. However, the coverage that we received was immensely greater than what we were previously receiving. It's quite scary how unprotected we were with our previous coverage. Under First Mark, I'd probably say we doubled the coverage that we had. It was a huge deal.
What would you tell others they can expect when they make that call to First Mark?
Take the 15-minute phone call. It's totally free. It's not going to cost me a thing. And the very least that could happen is just gain a better understanding. The best that could happen is you could either save money or get much better coverage, which is exactly what happened.
Andre did it. My family did it. You got to do it, and it's totally free. Take the First Mark Challenge today. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
I was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple of years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Getting a lot of people trying to make the case for Cal to be the MVP, and I'm not the one saying that Judge should get it. I understand why he's the leader. I mean, he's having a ridiculous season, but you're preaching to the choir when you're telling me how tough it is to play catcher, and that should be taken into more consideration. I agree with you. I agree with you. It's not even comparable, the demands of the position. Not even comparable. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm not a voter. I don't know what they're going to be taking into account. I'm sure it's going to be individual. Each voter will take something, put more emphasis on one thing than the other. But yeah, absolutely, the position should be taken. I have to imagine, as a baseball voter, you know the game enough to look at it and go, well, this guy's playing the premium position. He's playing catcher, right, and he's doing it virtually every single day. This guy's a right fielder, and despite what I'm having a debate with somebody who's saying he's a bad outfielder, talking about Judge, he's mediocre. Yeah, he's a good outfielder. He's a very good outfielder. But still, the demands of playing right field versus catcher, it's just not. No, it's not the same. So,
well, and I
agree with all of you. You don't have to make the case to me.
Yeah, we've been doing that pretty much all year.
Yeah,
but and by the way, a guy that used to wear Cal Raleigh's number 29, was Phil Bradley. A couple people texting in that he might be the best Mariner left fielder.
Yeah, he might be but he wasn't that pillar that was out there year in, year out, the guy we reflect on, like you do with the other two outfield spots. I mean, look at all the names you've got in those other spots. Center field, you've got Griffey. He's the greatest player I've ever seen in person. But one of the greatest of all time. Then you had Mike Cameron, who was a phenomenal center fielder. Then you have Franklin Gutierrez, who's a phenomenal center fielder. You got Julio Rodriguez, phenomenal. Those are guys that were just year in, year out, those were your guys. Right field, Ichiro and Jay Buhner. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, just legends. You don't have any of those names in left field. You got guys that were good at the time and had some good years, but, I mean, just that were just those pillars out there. Yeah, okay. Phil Bradley, Raul Ibanez, Mark McLemore.
Yeah, and
you don't have that guy.
He was here 5 years, and he was an all-star in 1985, batted 300 that year. And yeah, I mean, he stole some bases, 88 RBIs, 26 home runs. So
it was a good year, but you don't have that legend
year
that
in and
played
year
there.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've had multiple at the other two outfield spots. All right, moving on, looking at the Mariners, and as we get close to the trade deadline, Lefko asked the question, will it be a disappointment if the Mariners don't come away with an upgrade at either first or third at the trade deadline? Yeah, I think it will be. I think it'll be a very big disappointment. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be at those spots. I mean, those are the ones you look to because those are your production spots. You need people doing damage at those spots, and currently you don't really have it. Luke Raley's back. We'll see how much first he plays. Ben Williamson's done a phenomenal job of defense, and he's coming up with his hits. He's just not a guy who's hitting the ball out of the park or, extra base hits or driving in runs to this point anyway. So, yeah, they seem like logical upgrade spots. But Jeff Passan talking about if there are any surprise moves at the deadline, and he also weighed in on the Diamondbacks and whether they're going to be unloading players.
I don't know that there's a surprise move at this point, but I also didn't know Rafael Devers was getting traded, right? So there could be somebody over the next few weeks to emerge. It's interesting now that Corbin Carroll is hurt. You wonder what that does to the Diamondbacks, right? If the Diamondbacks do not have their best player in the lineup for an extended period of time, that's only going to add, I think, to the impetus for them to go out and try and overhaul their farm system through trades, because they've got a number of desirable players who are reaching free agency. Eugenio Suarez, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, Josh Naylor would be a perfect fit for the Mariners.
And Josh Naylor, as we talked about, injured his shoulder swinging. I'm not sure if it's serious, maybe just a little tweak. We'll find out. But
like you said, that's worrisome. I mean, it's one thing you take one off the,
Yeah, you get plunked. You're like, all right, it's going to heal. You understand why it's hurt. Somebody swings and all of a sudden they're hurt. You're like, uh-oh. Is that the oblique? Is that the thing that lingers forever? It's his shoulder. All right, is it just a tweak, or is it a rotator cuff? Did he tear a labrum? Who knows what's going on there? We'll find out. But Passan went on to talk about Naylor and why he feels like he's a great fit for the M's.
Just a guy who he walks, he hits for high average, he's got some power, and best of all, he does not strike out. And those are the guys who, when you're putting together a playoff lineup, Mike, you want. Guys who are not going to give away at bats, going to put the ball in play, but also capable of hitting it hard.
I like that they cut it off before Salt could jump in there. That's good.
He was excited.
Editing. It's really good editing. But no, I agree. I would love, as long as he's healthy, obviously, Naylor would be fantastic.
He's a picture of health. Naylor.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't care. I don't care if he's ripped or what he looks like. But I don't know. Do you think if, I'm not saying that Donnie Barrels and, Dom Canzone and Raley are going to, continue to go on this tear that they're on right now. But if they look solid, you think the Mariners are going to go, we're good?
No, they better not. I'm telling you right now, they better not, because you are going to tweak the fan base in a very big way if this team is hovering, if they've secured, or at least they're in position, they own that third wild card spot, or they've closed the gap on the Astros, whatever's going on there. If they're in striking distance and they go, I think we're fine.
Yeah,
that is going to be poorly received.
Yes.
That will be very poorly received.
Well, I think Naylor is kind of like, is it O'Hearn, the kid in Baltimore?
Baltimore, yeah.
You're like, it just makes too much sense.
Well, he's a guy that made sense before. I mean, I was hoping they were going to pick him up, and he ended up leaving Cleveland and going to Arizona, as opposed to ending up here when we know what the Mariners did and did not do. But, yeah, I love who he is, and he's a guy that, that's not old by baseball standards. He's 28, just turned 28 a couple days ago. So, yeah, he's in his, even as you point out, he's not body beautiful, but he's in his athletic prime. So he gets it done, man. The guy gets it done. He does, as he pointed out, he does not strike out much. He hits for average. He gets on base. He's got a 358 on base right now, hitting 303. He's got 9 home runs. I mean, he hit 31 home runs last year, drove in 108.
Yeah.
So, and so he's a guy who does both. He hits for power, he's productive, and he hits for average and gets on base. So I would love it. Hopefully the shoulder's fine, and maybe they can swing a deal.
Yeah, all-star last year, batting 300 right now. I mean,
I'll take it.
Yeah, It again makes too much sense.
Yeah.
But, they have a trade history with the Diamondbacks, so maybe they can work out a deal.
All right, coming up a slightly earlier time, but the same El Hombre. He's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
Julio's whole deal of being simple is I'm going to swing.
The percentage of pitches that he's swinging at by season. Last year, 54.3. This year, 57.1.
Still puts the bat to the ball, but is that what you want to swing at?
His chase percentage is essentially exactly what it's been. So he's not swinging at a lot more bad pitches. He's just swinging at everything.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get back to it this afternoon in Minnesota, Game 2 of the 4-game series. They send Luis Castillo to the hill in this one, looking for win number 2. And again, hopefully we'll see if they are able to get in tomorrow and Thursday's game. The weather they're calling for is not pleasant. So we'll find out if they're able to get those in. But Luis Castillo takes the hill tonight. You can catch all the action beginning at 3:30 with the pregame show right here, 4:40 first pitch. Seattle Sports on 710. Meanwhile, the Tigers and A's are in a weather delay in the top of the first in Detroit. Rangers and Orioles just about to get things going, as well as the Guardians and the Blue Jays. Meanwhile, in the NBA, the $1.5 billion sale of the Minnesota Timberwolves from Glenn Taylor to an investment group led by e-commerce entrepreneur Mark Lowry and former baseball star Alex Rodriguez gained NBA approval today, finalizing a complex and contentious process more than 4 years after the deal was reached.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
Yeah, you know what you can get me, Pee-wee?
What?
El Hombre.
That was a catastrophe.
I know.
That's a new low. Roz is better.
El Hombre.
The natural meets Rudy meets. I don't even know how to describe it.
El Hombre.
Every Tuesday, unless we get completely preempted by the Mariners, you find this man here with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. He is the one, the only El Hombre, Michael Bradley, with us. How are you, sir?
What's happening, everybody?
We're all just excited about what we're watching with this Mariner team. They went out there and beat a very good Cubs team, took the series from them in Chicago in some blustery, windy conditions out there, and then they took Game 1 against the Minnesota Twins, and Cal Raleigh continues to be the story. I don't know how much you hear about him or pay attention out there.
Jumper, baby.
He's
32 dingers. Love it.
32 home runs. It feels like every game he hits a home run. He's driven in 68. It's just a miraculous season. So we're having those MVP debates, and it's very early, obviously. But
yeah,
Aaron Judge, he plays for the most notable, most well-recognized organization maybe in all of sports, and he is having a tremendous season. Yet the argument becomes, all right, but he's playing right field versus catcher, which is a premium position that just beats the daylights out of you. How much do you think voters take that into consideration when it comes down to the actual act of voting?
That's going to have to be one of the things that Raleigh uses as a separator, is that he plays a much more difficult position. Obviously, if Judge stays healthy, he won't play as many games because no catcher's going to play 162 games. To me, it comes down to how well the Mariners finish. Win the division and have Raleigh hit, I'd say 50 home runs. Then he's got a real shot. Finish second, finish third, fade. Then it's just a great year on a bad team, and people tend to pick players from the best teams. So Judge has that going for him, even though the Yankees have been kind of rotten lately, and that's delicious. But, he's playing on a team that is going to probably win its division.
Yeah, I was going to say, make the case for him. I don't know if it comes through what a grinder Cal is, and I feel like, the common man can sort of relate to him a little bit more, but I don't know. Then you got on the other side Judge, who seems like a really good guy and, all that. But, do you think there could be some some groundswell here of support for Cal just because he's kind of a blue-collar guy?
The problem is the blue-collar people don't vote for MVP. And here's the thing. Back east, we don't see Mariners games.
Yeah.
You know, the only time that we see the Mariners games is when they play our teams. They're not being shown on the networks. They're not getting the publicity that the judges. When New York plays Boston, we're going to see it. When New York plays LA, we're going to see it. When New York plays anybody, we're going to see it on TV, and that gives people the chance to follow Judge. And if he happens to mash a home run, it makes the highlights. You're not seeing SportsCenter leading off with Raleigh. Look, he's having a ridiculous year. His OPS is 1.049. It's nuts. I mean, he's hitting 278. I saw on PTI today the average catcher's batting average is like 238. It's the lowest of any position in the majors, and he's 40 points above it. He's on course for a remarkable season. The problem is, A, does he continue it? And B, can the Mariners have a good enough year to make people notice?
Yeah, he's unfortunately, if Judge continues at the pace he's going, Cal's going to have to go above and beyond. I mean, that's just the reality. You're playing in the number one media.
60.
What's that?
He's going to have to hit 60 if Judge continues to play. And that will get him. But, if Judge hits 60 to 65 and Raleigh tops out at only, quote, unquote, 52, people are going to be kind of like, well, it's a great year, but Judge is the guy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, your Philadelphia Phillies have won 8 of their last 10, and they're sitting there a game and a half in front of the New York Mets, who all of a sudden Juan Soto is hot, but they've lost 9 of 10. And you talk about delicious.
Shame.
I was watching. I can't remember if it was MLB Network or whatever, and they were chronicling the struggles of the Mets, and all I could think of was El Hombre sitting in front of the TV, just cackling and laughing and drinking a beer, going, "Yeah, choke on that."
Yeah, it's beautiful to see the Let's Goes, and they were just in town. We were at a wedding in the city of Philadelphia. We stayed over a couple of nights, and it was lousy with Mets fans. And you could tell, the smell was different. There were stains, like slug trails, because it's just disgusting. You'll like this. I was going down an escalator as a Mets fan was going. The guy was wearing a Mets T-shirt going up an escalator. And as we crossed, I just went, boo, boo. And he didn't see it. And then he turned. He gave me this look like, what are you doing? I'm just like, boo. So I can't stand him at any point. So it's always nice. And, hey, we're in Houston tonight for the next 3. So, we're going to do our best to try to, keep those Astros at bay.
Please?
Yes, please do that.
We're all big Phillies fans for this series. Huge Phillies fans.
Yeah, you got the Twinkies, and they're not very good. They're not bad, but we're going to try to knock the Astros around a little bit.
Are they just universally hated, or is it mostly here in Seattle? I always say the reason why the hate is still alive here in Seattle is because of one Bob Stelton. And he's making the case constantly that they're a bunch of, what do you call you call Altuve a little creep or something like that?
Yeah, they're a bunch of cheaters. They're all complicit.
Is that the maybe... how's that go? How's it go over there?
The country's moved on. We've moved on.
Okay.
Look, in Philadelphia, it's about the Mets, and we're just delighted also that the Braves stink. They're 10.5 back, so that's great. So that's fun. We don't see here we don't see them all the time. They're not in our league. They're not people that we worry about. We're not in contention with them for wild card spots or home field advantage or anything like that. Everybody knows. If you mention the Astros, everybody says, they're a bunch of cheaters. And if they came to Citizens Bank Park, I guarantee you people be sitting there screaming at them. They're banging, trash can lids and stuff, whatever they could sneak in. So that's going to happen. But we're removed from it. We don't hear about them anymore. It's not in our purview. I'm not saying that you guys are wrong for hating them. Hate away, please. I love that. But it's not a big deal here.
Hey, Michael, how do you view some of these records when it comes to the steroid era? Because we're talking about Cal, and he's approaching the record. The record for home runs pre-All-Star game is 39. It's held by Barry Bonds, who, I always make the point, never hit 50 home runs in his career and then hit 73 in his late 30s. It was just absurd. but he technically holds that record. I'm looking at it going, yeah, I'm looking at some of the other guys on the list and going, that's the real record to me. I know it's not acknowledged by baseball, but Mark McGwire's on that list as well. Reggie Jackson hit 37 back in 69. That's probably where I'd be looking is the record. Barry Bonds had 39 in 01. Chris Davis had 37 in 2013. McGwire had 37 in 98. I'm looking at Reggie Jackson in 69 as the record. 37 home runs before the All-Star break. How do you view it?
Look, the one thing the steroid era did is take away something that baseball has that other sports don't, and that is the numbers, right? Baseball has been the numbers sport. Tell me how many yards Emmitt Smith. I think he's the guy with the most rushing yards. Yeah. How many yards did he have? No, who knows? Yeah. Brady probably has the most passing yards. I don't know how many he has. So, basketball, there's a number that matters, 100, and that's Wilt's 100-point game. And if any young people are out there who say that Wilt didn't do it because there wasn't any video, then I guess the Civil War didn't happen either because there wasn't any video. So, save that. But as you said, now anything that Bonds did, 73 home runs, he was jacked up on juice. And my feeling, anybody who's in the prime of their career, the major work they did was between 94 and 2006, you don't get in. It's just that simple. So I've lost, the records that matter to me, 511. Cy Young's number of wins in his career, never going to be touched. 56, DiMaggio's home runs. Okay, 406, Ted Williams hitting DiMaggio's hitting streak. 406, Ted Williams, the last guy to hit 400. Those are the numbers that matter. All these other ones, if they've been done by a steroid cheat, forget it.
Hey, Michael, this June and, the downtime for the NFL and early July, usually when something happens, some buffoonery of, whether it's a guy going 100 miles an hour in a 40 or whatever. But I'm just curious, just kind of checking in with Jalen Carter. And, not that he's a bad guy or anything, but there were some things with him. And is he proven to be a model citizen?
You can ask me this question over and over. He's done nothing except kick serious backside. Yeah. So, the Eagles are very happy with him. He hasn't done anything wrong. There hasn't been a whiff of impropriety, as they say. And you're right about June. Man, June into July is tough. The other night, I'm not a huge NBA fan or NHL fan, but just knowing that those games were on, to be able to put on the bottom set if the Phillies weren't playing or if they played an afternoon game, last night I had to have a conversation because the Phillies weren't playing. It was horrible. So I'm the next month to month and a half, it's just baseball. And they're going to try to make the draft a big deal, and they're going to gush over trades. Who cares that the Pelicans and the Wizards made a trade? I mean, could there be two less pertinent basketball teams right now? It's like they're swapping their own problems. So, yeah, we've got to sweat it out till the Hall of Fame game. It's tough. We have to do things like, talk to our families and stuff. It's not going to be easy.
By the way, I was going to say that you made up at least one of those names, the Wizards and the Pelicans.
Oh, yeah. Just about anymore because they're about as relevant as, the fourth division of the English Premier League or whatever the heck it is over there.
Hey, so Steelers quarterback, still seems weird, Aaron Rodgers is, quote, pretty sure the 2025 season is going to be his final NFL season. What kind of season do you think he has there, and do you think it'll be his final season?
Philadelphia and Pittsburgh are supposed to hate each other. I used to like the Steelers when they had Franco Harris and Bradshaw and those great teams in the 70s, just probably because the Eagles were so darn bad. But I'm really rooting for this season to be a catastrophe for him. I don't want him to get hurt, but I want his completion percentage around 53. I want him to throw about 900 interceptions. And I want Mike Tomlin to be sitting there chewing on a gum and talking into that headset every time he makes a mistake. And I want to see a lot of shots of him really seething. So, I don't care if it's his last year. It's clear that he is, he was the last resort for the Steelers. And somewhere, the owners group is probably sitting there saying to the GM, how did we get to this? How did we pick up this lunatic and have to make him our quarterback this year? Why didn't we plan better?
I thought it was Stillers there, not Steelers.
That's what Pittsburgh says. I don't live in Pittsburgh. I don't say yins or gum bands or my hair needs cut or Stillers. I don't say it. Garbage.
Hair needs cut. That's hilarious. By the way,
my bed needs make.
I've had a couple people texting in. I don't know. Is there a rumor out there that the Phillies would be interested in trading Harper? I haven't seen that, but people ask El Hombre if the Phillies are going to trade Harper or should they trade him.
If they trade Harper, that would be the worst public relations move any team has ever made.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about that.
Harper here. Plus, he's damaged goods right now. Nobody knows when he's going to come back because his wrist is so messed up.
Did he get plunked in the wrist? Is that what happened?
No, he got plunked in the elbow, but then he came back and he started having problems. And it's like, he's been having problems with his wrist since the beginning of the year. He can't swing real well. They're letting him rehab it. We're not going to see him until after the All-Star game, I think. He may try to come back.
Getting back to Mike Tomlin, he's always been pretty much universally loved. I feel like he's the one coach that is that the case necessarily there in Pennsylvania, the way you see it?
I don't know if he's universally loved. I think he's universally respected.
There you go.
This guy had dealt with Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown, and he's had some stuff. Now, every NFL coach has it. But, what's this, like his 20th year at the helm? That's unheard of. I don't know how many years it is. It's in the high teens. That's unheard of. And he's won a Super Bowl. His teams are constantly good. He's done a tremendous job. If you don't like him, it's because you don't like the Steelers, but you got to respect him. Yeah. And he's somebody who speaks his mind. He's somebody who's really direct when he's asked a question. And I don't know how you dislike the guy. If you hate the Steelers, there you go. Yeah. I would imagine that you would not like him. But the guy's done nothing but do his job really well and hang on in a business where people get fired after like a month.
Well, it's amazing, just the three coaches over the last, I don't know, was it 50?
69 or something.
60 years, yeah. Wow.
It's astounding. It's astounding to have that sort of continuity, and all of them won Super Bowls. Yeah, obviously Noel won 4, Cowher won 1, and Tomlin won 1. Yeah. The Steelers are a model of how you have continuity in a franchise. Meanwhile, you got some of these other teams. Look at the Cardinals. What a disaster! Yeah, they've just been a mess consistently going back to like the 50s.
Yeah, it is fun to go back and look at teams that have switched coaches what feels like every season, or that they've had a million starting quarterbacks in a 10-year span. It just, some of the teams like the Bears and the Browns, and some of those teams have had
the Browns is ridiculous,
an absurd number of quarterbacks that they've drafted very highly, and just the number of different starting quarterbacks they've had, it just remarkable for both teams. But El Hombre, anything you want to get off your chest before we let you go for the day?
A guy was busted on the subway in New York City today for trying to kiss a woman's feet. We have officially hit rock bottom, okay? I just saw that on the New York Daily News. Are you kidding me? I know there's people, there are mental health issues, et cetera, but kissing someone's feet on the subway? Come on, man.
Yeah, it's a weird place to be, the subway in New York. That's probably one of the
last thing I want to say. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that's probably one of the less weird things that happen on a subway in New York.
That's true. Well, the other thing is, please do not get fooled tomorrow night, people, by the 26th pick in the NBA draft, and they're trying to make him sound like he's going to be a future 5-time MVP. This draft is going to produce about 5 guys who are any good, and they're going to be sitting there at pick 24 gushing about some French dude who's coming over from the pastry league, who's going to make a real difference for the Hornets. So just don't buy into the propaganda that ESPN and NBA propaganda partner is spewing out there during the draft.
Coming over from the pastry league.
I didn't know there was a pastry league.
Yeah, it's big. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable.
He is El Hombre, Michael Bradley, with us every Tuesday, generally at 5, unless we're being preempted by the Mariners, which we are today. So he's early, but you can find him here. You can find him on Twitter at Daily Hombre. At Daily Hombre on Twitter. Michael, we appreciate it. We'll do it again next week, my friend.
So long, suckers.
Some French guy from the pastry league.
Where's he come up with Where's that come from?
I don't even know. It's just the way his mind works.
It's in the database.
Yeah. So if you guys missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab. Scroll down to our picture. Click on that. It'll be right there waiting for you. Or you could just take the easy way, click subscribe. It's totally free. And then it just shows up for you every day. You don't even have to think about it. It's beautiful. Meanwhile, Mariners are sitting 4.5 games back. We're all big Phillies fans this series.
Yeah.
Big Phillies fans. They're taking on the Astros right now. Mariners 4.5 back. Mariners have the third wild card spot as we sit. They're a half game up. So if the season were to end today, Dave, Mariners would be in the playoffs.
There we go.
How about that?
Something to be excited about. And I can't wait to see what happens in this game. As this whole thing with the last 4 games, 41 runs. Is this a mirage, or is this something that's I don't expect him to score 10 points a game. 10 runs a game, but I mean, come on. We've already blown through some of the predictions, I think.
Yeah.
As far as over under and things like that, but yeah, I mean, Houston, you look at what Mike wrote down here. They've got the Phillies for 3 and then the Cubs for 3. They get to go to the Rockies, but yeah, that is just very frustrating that Houston is just constantly hanging in there.
Yeah, it seems like no matter what. I mean, they lose Tucker, they lose Bregman. Alvarez has been hurt for the majority of the year. Altuve got off to a slow start. They've lost pitchers, and there they are. They just find a way. I mean, I guess you got to tip your cap, I guess. They're a good team.
Don't you dare.
I know.
Don't you dare tip your cap.
Yeah, it feels dirty. But, if you're the Mariners, you got to take advantage of the opportunities in front of you. You got a down Minnesota Twins team right now.
Yeah,
a team that's dropped 9 of their last 10. They've lost 4 in a row. They've given up a boatload of runs. They got a negative 19 run differential. They've given up more runs than anybody in that division outside of the White Sox. So you got to take advantage of that. And hopefully, look, Cal's feeling good. Hopefully Julio's feeling good after yesterday's game, that he's like, oh, finally. Just everybody in the offense. Canzone, he's feeling good. Donnie Barrels, he's feeling good. Everybody's coming in feeling light. They've got some moments of success to kind of look back on. And hopefully Luis Castillo goes out there, gives a quality start, keeps the team in the game, does his job, and the Mariners' bats continue.
Yeah. I think this is going to be so important for Julio. And like you said, Bob, I mean, even if he doesn't get a hit, if he's hitting it hard.
Yeah, square it up.
Yeah. But, I mean, we talk a lot about Cal's stoicism and how, he's just very calm and steady. And really, Julio, I mean, he's got to be frustrated. But you never see him get too far one way or the other. And, yeah, he's really done a good job of kind of hanging in there. And I know he's very polarizing. Lots of Mariner fans are like, he's not a superstar, but yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to see this be, sort of the launching point for him for the rest of his season.
Yeah, he's a guy that just makes a world of difference to the lineup. You just see it, whether you want to rip on him or you love him, you hate him, whatever your feeling is about him. There's no debate. When he's hot, he's one of the best players in baseball. We've all seen it. Even if you don't like him, you've seen it. You've witnessed it. His problem is just being that guy throughout the season. So hopefully this is where it starts. We'll find out, tonight. I can't wait for this game. I'm fired up for this game. The team's feels like at least the rotation is starting to look like we hoped it would. It's getting healthy. This is where you got to make hay. So we'll see what they do. I'm calling for a win tonight.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
41 runs.
I'm like a weatherman.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know.
You don't really know.
That's my prediction. A win. I'm just saying it. But yeah, right now they own that third wild card. They need to hang on to that. I'd love to win the division. That would be fantastic. But right now, you're in the playoffs.
Yep.
So that's a good place to be. All right. That's going to do it for us. I want to thank our guest, El Hombre, Michael Bradley, who just joined us. If you're just tuning in and missed that conversation, you can find everything you missed on the podcast page. Just head to seattlesports.com, click the podcast tab, scroll down to our picture, click on that, and it's right there waiting for you after the show each and every night. And don't forget, you can just click subscribe, and it shows up for you. It's a beautiful thing. It's completely free. It's right there. Meanwhile, we're going to be back tomorrow right here with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
The most first-half home runs for a catcher in baseball history.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
Big dumper.
American League Player of the Week. A .417 average.
OPS over 1,600. 5 homers, 12 ribbies.
And one hell of a model American.
Now, the question of whether or not he's the front runner as AL MVP.
Where you follow along the Big Dumpers, Big Run, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
Oh, it is the time of the season for pests. That's right. No one likes them. No one knows where they come from, but we can all agree no one wants them in their house. Mike Salk here for Crawl Pros, and they have a full-service pest control division now called Pest Pros. They can come to your house and do a full corner-to-corner inspection, take care of any problems, just like they did at my home. This is the time of the year you'll start seeing more ants in and around your home. You may also begin hearing a little buzzing outdoors. Bees, wasps, hornets. If they make a nest on your property, that is a huge nuisance. So please don't try to take care of those nests on your own. Simply call Pest Pros to have any nest removed and destroyed professionally before the problem grows or you and your guest ends up getting stung. Pest Pros is the full-service pest control division of Crawl Pros with eco-friendly treatments to keep ants, stinging insects, and all sorts of critters from making their way into your home. If you're worried about rodents, ants, or other bugs or an issue in and around your home, call Pest Pros or visit gopestpros.com to schedule a free inspection at gopestpros.com.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Book today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Well, this week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to Robert. Robert, why did you call First Mark Insurance?
I heard an ad, and my wife and I had just got our policy renewals from our previous provider, and everything had gone up quite a bit, 30-40%, so I thought I'd give it a try. It was a pleasant experience, very easy. It only took a couple of days to get the good news back.
And were they able to save you money?
Yeah, we were able to save well over $1,000. Not only did we save money, our agent found that we had some gaps in coverage, and they were able to not only save money, but improve our coverage.
Well, now you can be a good friend, and you can tell everybody about it.
Well, I have. I've, in fact, passed it on to a couple of my good friends, and they're taking the challenge as well. So it's been great.
Robert did it. My family did it. Now you got to do it, and it's totally free. Go take the First Mark Challenge today. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you could be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Just go to firstmarkinsurance.com. Firstmarkinsurance.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data, except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on OpenSignal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.